What's up, y'all, man? I want to talk about should a woman kick in the NFL. Recently, a woman was invited to, kick or try out for, not really try out for two NFL teams. I think one of the NFL teams said that they were going to actually let her kick on, this past Sunday in the preseason. They were offering, that much. Not even, coming in to try out for the team. They was going to actually let her kick on a Sunday preseason game, some extra points or whatever. My take is this, man. I don't know. This is not new that women want to play with the men and men's sports. It's nothing new. It's just that now it's pushed heavily, like real heavily, since the whole Me Too movement. It's been a lot of push to give women a chance, quote unquote, a chance to play a man's sport for some reason. Should a woman kick in the NFL? To me, I don't think so. A lot of people say it like this. Well, kickers, they don't really have contact, with football, on the football physical level. All they do is kick. No, you must not be looking at football, because it's a lot of kickers. What happens when the kick get blocked? Just like Keenan Allen, the wide receiver for the Chargers, he came out and said, "Yeah, it's all good until somebody come off the edge and block the kick, and now she's on defense." You know what I'm saying? And then I was looking at Speak for Your not Speak for Yourself with Whitlock, Jason Whitlock, and Marcellus Wiley and them, and they were saying that what happens when a man blocks the kick? Will he tackle her knowing that she's a woman? And I think TJ Houshmandzadeh said, I don't think they will tackle her because they know she's a woman. So that's my point. Why should a football player playing at high speed, full speed, why should he have to think about in the back of his head that he shouldn't tackle a kicker because the kicker is a woman? So now he had to process all that. Oh, she's a woman, don't tackle her. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said a woman should not play football with men. It just shouldn't happen, because as soon as she get hit and she get hurt, now everybody all up in arms and say, "Oh man, they should have never let her play with the men." And what I'm saying right now, don't start doing that, especially with a physical sport like that. Now, if you want to say a woman wants to go on the tour, on a tennis, tour, and sign up and try to play with the men or play golf, because it's not a physical, they're not physically going to come in contact. It's just them against the golf course. You know what I'm saying? And that's totally different. Tennis, golf, things of that nature, those type of sports. When you start talking about basketball, football, hockey, rugby, any of those sports, it's just a physically, people get turned inside out when you say this. But physically, men are dealing with testosterone, women are dealing with estrogen. Testosterone is a biological thing that men have that makes them bigger, stronger, faster, more reactive speed, more reactive time, quicker on the trigger as far as their physical attributes is concerned, jump higher, all that stuff. Now people will point to outliers and say, well, it's some women that are like that. Some, maybe like less than 1% of the population are like that, if that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, if you line up 10 men and 10 women and you have a bench press of 200 pounds on the bench press, no, probably not even one of those women, all men can't do it. I'm not saying all men can do it, but I can guarantee you not one of those women will be able to get that thing off the bar, man. It's just what it is, man. It's a physical disparity that just because you want to do something don't mean you should do it. Let me say that again. Just because you want to do something doesn't mean you should do it. And because a woman wants to play with men doesn't mean she should play with men. Now, I think someone said that I think Rob Parker said it was a woman in Division 2 that played Division 2 and she's a kicker. Okay. I'm just not for it, man. I don't care what nobody say. I'm just not for it. And I cringed. I cringed when Clarissa Shields. I made a video about that a little while ago when she said on the interview, and she wasn't kidding. I thought she would be kidding, but she wasn't kidding. She really say that, you know, she can beat certain fighters in boxing. You know, she pointed to Keith Thurman. She said Shawn Porter. She said maybe somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this again, man. I'm gonna say this again. Now she claimed. Now I'm not gonna say she claimed. She said she sparred with Errol Spence. I believe that she sparred with Errol Spence. Now she was talking about how strong he was and all that stuff. And my thing is this: he was not going 100% with her. We all know he wasn't going 100%. I'm gonna say he wasn't going 50% with her. I'm gonna say he probably was going like 20 to 25% with her. And she was talking about how big and strong and powerful he was and how hard he hit. Can she imagine? Because when you spar, let me give y'all a lesson in sparring. When you sparring, you don't spar with the same size gloves that you actually gonna fight in a professional fight with. You spar with like 15, 20 ounce gloves. He probably had 20 ounces on sparring with her. So it's not the same power she's gonna feel when somebody put 8 ounces, 10 ounce gloves on. Period, point blank. So she and she was serious. She said, with my skills, I can beat those guys. Those guys may be stronger than me. She said, she reiterated that. She said, they may be stronger than me, but I can beat them on a skill level. Let me tell you this. If Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman get in the ring with her, they can stop her in one round. Effortlessly. It wouldn't even take a whole lot of effort. They can stop her in one round, man. They are not going to look at her, because a whole lot of sports is perception too before you even get in the ring. They're not gonna look at her like, oh, she's a threat, she's gonna hurt me, she's gonna be able to do this. No, they're just gonna go in there, they're gonna walk her down, and they're gonna stop her. See, if that was me, I would have got in contact with her people and said, let's just say I'm Shawn Porter. I got in contact with her people and say, okay, let's just set up a sparring match. I don't want to fight you in a real fight. Let's just set up a sparring match. And we'll see how it goes then. Because sometimes you have to just show people that it's not all right to say stuff like that without repercussions. You know what I'm saying? They both should have called her bluff and say, okay, let's just set up a sparring match, a full out sparring match. Nobody's gonna hold anything back. We're gonna wear 20 ounce. I'll wear 20 ounce gloves. You can come with 10s, or you can come however size of gloves you want to come with. I'm gonna wear 20 ounce gloves, so I won't hurt you too bad. But we're gonna go full out, no holding back. You see, because you got to show people, like, and it was some people that were. I see some videos talking about it. It was some people say, oh, maybe she can't. No, she cannot beat none of those guys. It's guys that can come off the street, get in that ring, and beat her up. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. It's guys that can come off the street, get in that ring, and beat her up. Now, can she beat some guys up? Beat some guys up in the boxing ring? Sure, she can. But the percentage of men that she can beat up in the ring versus the percentage of men that can beat her up in the ring, it's a large gap. The gap is so big, it's like the ocean. So my thing is this: women should stick with women's sports. That's why they have women's sports. That's why they have women's sports and they have men's sports for a reason. It's men's sports and women's sports. Women. Let me give y'all a story. My son was playing for a league in basketball. Now this is basketball. Basketball is not as physical as boxing or football or MMA. And the girl and the boy was tussling for the ball. Now they were the same. I say the boy was maybe like 3 inches taller than her. She had like a little thickness on her, but they were tussling about with the basketball. He just took it, and he seen that he wasn't getting it, so then he went to his secondary strength. Because like I said, men have that secondary strength that women don't have. So he went to his secondary strength and just whoop and flung her, and she hit face first on the floor. Everybody was like, "Wow!" Everybody in the crowd breathed heavily because it was a girl. Because before that, two other young boys were tussling for the ball, and they both went down to the ground. Nobody said nothing because it was a girl that went down to the ground, and she had a concussion. She had to come out the game. She didn't come back to the game. You know what I'm saying? She was crying. I'm not saying a guy wouldn't cry if he did the same thing. I'm just saying the optics did not look good. Everybody was sad that the girl hit her face like that. But like I told my wife, I turned to my wife and said, this is why boys should not play with girls when they get to a certain age. And I believe at that age, the highest age you can play in that league is like 15. So it was like 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and so on and so on. So at a certain age, boys and girls should not, because the boys are going to start surpassing them in physicality, period, point blank. It's just going to happen. It's nature. So my conclusion is no, a woman should not kick in the NFL. Because like Keenan Allen said, what if the kick get blocked? Now she's in the lion's den. Now she's out there with all those big, strong guys. Somebody hit her, knock her out, hurt her. Now it's an uproar. Why the NFL let her play in the NFL? Why did Roger Goodell allow her to even get in there? Even though I'm gonna tell y'all, this is what's gonna be said. Even though she wanted to play, doesn't mean y'all should have let her play. See, that's why I go back to, even though you want to do something, doesn't mean you should do it. You know what I'm saying? So we all know what's gonna happen. The NFL gonna get a real black eye and won't recover from it. So let me know what y'all think. My thing is this. I know I'm not a male chauvinist. No, I'm not saying men are more superior than women overall. I'm just saying physically, men are superior than women. Physically, for the most part, 99.999999% of the time, physically, men are more superior than women. It's just what it is. So let me know what y'all think.